we start chapter 15 on acid-base equilibria, specific type of equilibria. Arrhenius here, Swedish gentleman, was the first person to come up with an explanation for acid-base chemistry way back in 1884. And according to his definition, we had an Arrhenius acid, which was a compound that would dissociate in water to form hydrogen ions. And likewise, the base would be a compound that dissociated and formed hydroxide ions. Now, you might think that that would mean that you always had to have an OH group for that to happen. However, if you look at something like ammonia in water, it forms ammonium and hydroxide ions because the water ends up losing one of its H's, an H+, attaches itself to the ammonia, making your ammonium ion and leaving an OH- group. However, now that we've said that ammonia should be a base, what happens if I dissolve it in something other than water, like this? I'm putting it in hydrochloric acid. I'm still going to make ammonium ions. It's just that instead I'll have chloride ions instead of hydroxide. Well, that certainly was something that bothered people. So in the next century, Brønsted and Lowry came up with a somewhat more general definition of acids. That a Brønsted acid was any compound that donated a proton. Well, that fits perfectly well with the Arrhenius definition of an acid because that was donating H+. Well, what is an H+? It's a hydrogen ion. Hydrogen only has one electron, and the only way it can be an H+ is if it loses the electron, leaving just a proton. So this definition, although it focuses your attention differently, is exactly the same set of definitions as the Arrhenius, except that perhaps you can say that it doesn't have to be in water. A Brønsted base is going to be any compound that accepts that proton. Now that's sneaky because it means that you can say that in any situation like this, where you have two things on the left and two things on the right and a proton moves between them, that you are going to have acid-base pairs. Let's look at this. There's a symbol that separates our reactants from our products. Like this HCl, go take a look on the other side. Well, here's just the Cl-. Oh, that must mean that this H was donated, meaning that HCl is an acid. If that's an acid, then the Cl- is its conjugate base, because it certainly isn't going to be donating any more protons. So the only thing it could possibly do is accept a proton. This is very much a definition that applies to things that can be in equilibria. On the left, I can see an acid and a base. On the right, I can see an acid and a base. On the left, I will simply call it an acid and a base. On the right, I will say conjugate acid and conjugate base. So the word conjugate is reserved for those on the right-hand side. Here's another situation. This one's a nice equilibrium. Here's your carbonic acid. Hey, I bet that's an acid. Yes, it is, because if you look and go over here to the other side, you'll find out here's hydrogen carbonate. So it has lost an H+. There's the acid and its conjugate base. That must mean this is acting like a base then. Sure enough, it's accepting that H+, and this hydronium ion then is a conjugate acid of this base.